Hey everybody, it's Bjorn from Higher Learning Lab. In this Photoshop tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the Magnetic Lasso Tool. And if you've never used this tool before, it might just blow your mind because it's a really cool tool. It's definitely one you want to have in your repertoire. And so let's get right into it. We have this image of a lady relaxing on a beach of some lake or the ocean, who knows where. But anyway, what we want to do is we want to select her out of the background. Now, a couple options we have is using a paintbrush and erasing the background away from her, using a mask, a layer mask, and just painting on the mask to erase her out of the background. We could use a lasso tool to kind of try to get all the edges and do that about right. Or we can use the magnetic lasso tool and let it do most of the work. And you're going to see how I do that in just a second. And I really encourage you to get an image where you can cut something out just to try this out yourself, because it's awesome. To get to the Magnetic Lasso Tool, you have to go to the Lasso Tools menu and choose Magnetic Lasso Tool. And by default, you're going to have an icon that looks like this, which is not very helpful. What this tool does is it looks for the edges of an object in a picture, and it has a defined radius where it looks for those edges. And if it finds the edge, that's where the selection will be, right on that edge. However, with the default icon, you can't see where that edge is. But if you press the caps lock, the icon that we have here changes to a circle with a crosshair in the middle. So Photoshop is going to look for the edges anywhere within that circle. And we can actually make the circle bigger by changing the width up here. We can change the width of the circle to whatever we want. We can change the contrast, so in areas where there's not much contrast, we can play with this number to help hopefully make it select better. And we are now going to just trace around this woman and see what happens. So I'm just going to click somewhere. I'm just going to click right here. And one thing to keep in mind with the lasso tool is it's about 80 to 90% accurate. So you're going to have to do some touching up afterwards, but it's pretty darn close. So I clicked to start the selection, and then I drag so the circle that we have always contains the edge of the image we're working on. And all those points that Photoshop is entering, Photoshop's doing that on its own. All I'm doing is dragging this little circle around the woman's body, and all those points are being put where Photoshop thinks the edges and believes that there is a transition to either convex or concave, and believes that a point needs to be there so that we can properly make the selection in those areas. There's going to be some areas that don't select very well. And like I said, this is about 80 to 90% accurate. Depends on the contrast. And you can also change the sensitivity to that contrast using that menu bar at the top that I showed you earlier. But we're just drawing all the way around her. We're almost done. And then we're going to go back to our original starting point. And then we go back, it reverts back to original icon, and we get that little circle, which means that we're going to close the selection. As you can tell, just a quick review, zoom in a little bit. Some areas that didn't do very well are her forehead, her nose, her chin, and just scanning around for some more areas. Look how nicely it did the leg right there. Got a little too much down here around her toes, cut off these two toes. Cut off that one finger, part of her arm, part of her shirt. But at the end of the day, that's pretty darn good. And what you can do is you can play around with the contrast and the frequency, and that can help make the selection better. Or what you can also do is just turn this into a layer mask. And that's not the one we want. Let's press Command-Shift-I to select the inverse. Now we have her as a layer mask. And we can go in and just manually get the nose back by messing around with the layer mask. Find her nose over here. So there's her nose back, her lips, and then we'll just manually use the layer mask to get rid of the extra stuff that we've now exposed. But that is a lot faster doing it that way and touching up little areas than it would be to go around and try to select her out of the background or erase the background from under her. So the Magnetic Lasso Tool is an awesome tool. I really encourage you to check it out and play around with it, experiment. You can't really break things. Just make sure you save a copy of your file and you'll be golden. I hope this video helps you. My name is Bjorn Allpass from Higher Learning Lab. Please make sure you like this video, share it on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out HigherLearningLab.com where we publish tech tutorials every single day. Talk to you soon.